How many of you would raise your hands if you think you've been avoiding tension all your life? Okay, good. So I want you to start noticing, this is the whole idea of the tension journal. I talked about it yesterday. Where have you been avoiding tension? So let's picture primitive society for a minute to really kind of bring this home. Especially now we're talking about how this relates to being attractive as a man. If you've got a really primitive society, 1,000, 10,000 years ago, a little village, let's say, you got men that have to protect, provide, hunt, all this stuff in the society, right? Picture 3 types of men, okay? The first type is he's used to comfort and security and he avoids tension at all costs, right? He's like, okay, well, that looks dangerous. I don't know. Let's think about it. Let's plan. Well, what would you do? He's asking the other guys, well, what would you do? Oh, well, how would you handle this? I don't know. I mean, you just, I'll follow you. Okay, picture that guy. Now picture another guy. He's really, he's balls to the wall when it comes to tension. They say, we need to go hunting. He's like, okay, grabs his spear, runs out there, starts chasing animals. You know, he's like, oh, there's something we got to kill. Let's go do it. Let's we got to fight. He's the first one in the front line. Okay, he's like, yeah. And he's jumping up and down, screaming, yelling. Okay, that's the next guy. Now, between those 2 guys, the second guy seems a little more exciting, right? Okay, a lot more exciting. The first guy's not going to do much with his life. The second guy, though, has some problems, but he'll do a lot. Now, picture a third guy. This guy has no problem walking right into tension, but he's very present and aware. So he doesn't do it he doesn't run from tension, but he says, okay, and he looks at everything and he feels it out, doesn't think about it, and says, okay, let's go this way. And then he says the battles, and instead of saying, let's charge right in, he looks at everything and says, okay, let's surround the animal, or let's make a plan, and this is what I think we should do. He's very present, and he doesn't necessarily take his time, but he takes enough time to just look at all the options, and then he lets his gut instinct. That's the way you do it. You look at all the options, and then you let your gut instinct tell you what to do, and you go. Now I'm ready to go. I've seen all the details. I know all the data. What does my gut tell me to do? And that's how he moves. Which one of those guys do you think is gonna get the most respect? Yeah, which one of those guys is gonna be the best with tension? Last one. The second guy could get himself killed very quickly. He's a great warrior, but he'll probably end up getting, killed because he's going to run into something without thinking at some point. The first guy is not going to get much. He's going to be at the bottom of the status of the village on the totem pole, isn't he? The third guy is going to be a leader. Now, when it comes to women who need to survive, they want their offspring to survive, they want to survive, which genetically would they be the most attracted to? What would their DNA draw them to? Go ahead and say something if you want, Ruth. Were you raising your hand?
I was just saying third guy.
Yeah, third guy. You guys see that? That's why women love confidence. Because the confidence was the difference between them and their baby's survival and not surviving. The confidence, even on a DNA level, on an epigenetics level, would be passed to their children, and that's a greater chance for their survival. You see what I mean? And so that's a big part of it. That can be developed in you. It doesn't have to take a long time. But you do have to play on that scale of 1 to 10, right? You gotta play in the sweet spot. And you develop it just like lifting weights. If you lift too much weight, you'll actually hurt yourself. So when you're developing your tension skills, you gotta lift just the right amount of weight. A little bit here, a little bit there, and it starts to grow. If you're lifting more than you can handle, you'll start to resent it, and the pain-pleasure principle will kick in. You'll start to associate pain with tension. But if you're lifting the right amount all the time, and then you're getting encouraged by other men that are good with tension, saying you did a good job, yeah, proud of you, giving you high fives, then that starts to create more pleasure. You start to believe in yourself. Okay? How much, like, you ever seen a group of guys going out to explore tension together? That's what's really going on. Like, how about a group of guys, young kids that are going out and they're gonna figure out how to ride jump a skateboard down a flight of stairs, right? But what are they doing? They're exploring tension skills. You see what I mean? Athleticism, the ability to move, but they're really playing with their ability, and they're encouraging each other and believing in each other. They're filming each other, talking about what's going on. They're really getting into it. Do you see how that develops masculine? Okay? And when you see guys exploring like that and actually developing their tension skills, they're becoming becoming more powerful and confident in different areas of their lives, depending on the area they're exploring. And when you see a group of guys that are really getting in there and figuring something out together, that typically is attractive to women, is it not? Yeah. Think about the athletes in high school. That's where the first part of it. All the athletes are a team and they're pushing each other. Who do they razz the most when somebody joins a team? A new guy comes on the team, they haze him right away, right? Why are they hazing him? Testing his tension skills. Exactly. They don't know they're doing this, but that's what they're doing. Then they put him in the totem pole where he belongs. Who can handle the most tension to the least tension? Okay? And then what's the next thing they do? They go out and they constantly explore and push each other's tension boundaries. And they're always on the weakest link, just like a wolf pack, trying to make him stronger. Either get out or get stronger. Get out or get stronger. That's what's going on. Do you see why that women in high school will get attracted to the jocks? Okay. Now there's the other side of the coin. Those guys is the artist. The artist is really good with the emotional tension, right? He's always exploring emotions and feelings and depth of emotion. So a lot of girls get attracted to the artist. Who do women get attracted to the least in high school, on average? Nerds. Why? How much tension are they really exploring? Very little. They escape in their heads, yeah. Now there is the geek chic. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, these geek chic guys who kind of play up the nerd, but they're really outgoing. You know, I'm a geek. I love video games, but I'm really outgoing. You know, and he's still confident too. I'm not talking about that guy. That's kind of become a thing, right? There's a crowd of those, but I'm talking about the actual nerds, right? And so when you see a movie, anybody ever see that old movie Revenge of the Nerds or one of the sequels? You see the nerds are bad with tension in the beginning, but by the end of the movie, they get their shit together and they step into a lot of tension and become men, even though they're still nerds. And that's kind of the theme, and it's like a hero movie for nerds, right? And it's like they suddenly grow balls and become men by the end of it. And that's every romantic comedy, right? The guy in the beginning can't handle tension, he's screwing up, he's bad with tension, he's bad with emotional tension. And then by the end of the movie, he gets all the shit together and does all, and then suddenly goes from the guy who can't handle tension to doing these amazing tension feats, and then saying, see, and then everybody's happy. And then the girl falls back in love, right? Is that not every movie? Every romantic comedy? So how y'all feeling with this? You guys seeing it everywhere? How do guys who don't like tension get their fill of tension if they're still masculine? Like, I've been avoiding tension my whole life, but I like tension, I'm masculine. How do they get their tension? Through movies, through sports. We love video games. We love these things, right? We can get addicted for hours on end pretending to be the character on the screen as we play and beat up all the bad guys and face all the tension. Watching a movie and saying, oh my God, I want to be James Bond in this movie. Oh my God, I'm going to go out and learn martial arts because Jackie Chan just did all this martial arts. But a week later of actually doing it, you realize how much is involved and you quit. Okay? You know, if you actually get around to doing it and don't just forget. Okay? And think about it this, as you go to a movie, you got a nice air-conditioned theater, got a nice cushy seat. Maybe today you can have your feet up in a lounge chair kind of setting, got your popcorn and your soda, and you get to watch all this tension on the screen. And this is what satisfies us. That's a good excuse for tension today. Okay? I'm not saying you shouldn't go see movies. You can learn a lot from movies too, about story and about mythology and stuff, but that's how we're getting it. Okay? And so then sports is another level. What would be another level above watching sports where we can get our attention, where men start to evolve? Going out and playing. Maybe you love to go down and play basketball and do pickup games down at Venice Beach. Now you're actually playing with some tension. It's a whole nother level, isn't it? How about entrepreneurs? How much tension do they deal with? They go out and I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna figure this shit out on my own. It's a lot of fucking tension they deal with, especially when they first start. And they have to learn to manage all that tension. So when you think about it, guys that can handle the most tension well-managed tension, well-managed responsibility, make the most money in life. Now there's two types, right? There's guys who handle a lot of tension but don't manage it well. They're usually stressed out, they're pushy, they're the salesman that's always like all over the place. They can handle a lot of tension. They probably get paid pretty well, but they're always overloading and needing a break. They need to go drink 50 beers, they need to go drink whatever. They do, take some type of a Vicodin at night, whatever. Then there's the guys that can handle well-managed responsibility, well-managed tension equals freedom. They have the most freedom in life. If you can handle, like Richard Branson, bring in business after business and manage it well, set up teams to manage it well, and grow it, and then step away from it because you created the perfect team, and you know how to manage that whole complex of, like, he owns about 500 businesses at any one time, and you keep stepping away from them because you put all the right pieces in place, you will have the most freedom of anybody. How many people, if you had 500 businesses you had to manage and all the energy that comes from them every day, and this one's doing this, and here's the numbers on this one, how many of you would be freaking out? You know, do you see what I mean? Imagine the drama that would come at you at any given day. How would you handle that drama, right?